Hello everyone and welcome to the latest Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. My name is Sandy Delgado, I'm a forecaster here at the National Hurricane Center. And looking at the hazards at hand, we have a strong cold front that's going to move through the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to allow for winds to increase to gale force by Tuesday night through Wednesday, affecting especially the western and southwest Gulf waters. And seas are going to build up to 18 feet during those days. In the rest of the Caribbean Sea and the southwest North Atlantic, there are no warnings or gales. However, some hazard conditions will also accompany that cold front. Now, jumping into the forecast, by Monday morning, we have a broad ridge over the southwest North Atlantic that's going to continue to support strong force winds in the central Caribbean Sea, allowing for seas up to 10 feet in that area of the Atlantic. We also have that by Tuesday, a similar pattern with strong force winds over the central Caribbean Sea, rough seas in those waters. And we already see here in the entering the northwest Gulf of Mexico, that cold front that I was just mentioning. By Wednesday morning, as you can see, the frontal boundary will be extending from the Big Bend area to the Yucatan Peninsula. Behind the front, very strong gradient is going to allow for a strong to gale force winds to accompany this frontal boundary, the passage of this frontal boundary. Ahead of the front, we're also going to see some strong force winds off the northeast Florida Peninsula. And of course, with this very strong winds, we're going to see seas building quickly, rough to very rough seas over the Gulf of Mexico as the frontal boundary moves eastward. But still, as you can see here in the Caribbean Sea, those strong force winds will still allow for rough seas. So by Thursday, the frontal boundary will have already moved off the east coast of the United States, now extending up to central or eastern Cuba. Behind the front, we still have enough gradient to support strong force winds affecting the northwest Bahamas, east of Florida, and over the southeast Gulf of Mexico and northwest Caribbean Sea. That's going to allow for rough seas over a large portion of the southwest North Atlantic, northwest Caribbean Sea, and also especially the Gulf of Mexico. Now, by this point, we also have this trough over the central Atlantic, and the gradient north of this trough is going to induce strong easterly winds that is going to allow for seas to build up to 12 feet over a large portion of the central Atlantic. Now by Friday, we have that the frontal boundary that we were talking about has already weakened. Still, good amount of gradient is going to allow for strong force winds over a good portion of the southwest North Atlantic and the southeast Gulf of Mexico, including the Florida Straits. Over the central Atlantic, that trough that I was talking about before continues to allow for strong easterly winds over the central Atlantic. All this is going to produce a large region of rough seas over the central Atlantic, but still we have some moderate to rough seas accompanying the frontal boundary or behind the frontal boundary over the southwest North Atlantic, parts of the Gulf of Mexico, and the northwest Caribbean Sea. So in summary, we have strong north to northeast winds and rough seas in the central Caribbean Sea. That's going to continue until Wednesday. We also have a cold front, very strong cold front moving across the Gulf of Mexico quickly on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's going to allow for strong to gale force winds in the basin and also rough to very rough seas in that part of the Atlantic. We also have that the same frontal boundary is going to continue to move into the southwest North Atlantic, allowing for strong winds and rough seas behind the frontal boundary. And we also have that in the central Atlantic, a trough is going to induce strong winds and rough seas from Wednesday into Saturday. And the next briefing will be on Thursday, December 12th at around 5 p.m. But please keep an eye on the latest information about that cold front that's going to move across the Gulf of Mexico and southwest North Atlantic. It's going to be very dangerous conditions. So please keep an eye on this information at hurricanes.gov/marine. Thank you and have a great day.